Hello and welcome to Real Estate in Real Time. I'm your host, Woody Zimmerman, here with Mark Skabowski of Remax Lakes. Welcome to the show.
Here we are. Good morning.
Here we are, and I'll tell you what, real estate can move very, very fast. And in my industry and in your industry, we can start talking, like Raj and I can start talking about like acronyms like RAB is the Radio Advertising Bureau, or NAB is the National Association of Broadcasters. In real estate, you've got a lot of acronyms.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah, that you could be talking to clients and you might just rattle off a few and they're like, what's this guy talking about?
Deer in the headlights.
Deer in the headlights.
Deer in the headlights.
Yeah, so we should go down a list of acronyms here and,
Sure.
and just basically break it down what these things mean.
Well, let's see if we can shed some light on that. And
Okay.
again, I did 22 years in the military.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want something that's got acronyms,
Yeah, right.
there's a lot of acronyms
Yes.
in the service. I won't even bring any of them up. But so I guess the first one that we talk about as agents a lot is NAR.
Okay.
Right? It's a NAR.
NAR.
Right? We're NAR. We're
Yeah.
not pirates.
That's not when somebody gets mad that they didn't get a house, they
So the National Association of Realtors.
Oh.
So in Kosciuszko County, we as members of KBOR, there's another acronym for you, the
Yeah.
Kosciuszko Board of Realtors,
Okay.
are all members of NAR, National Association of Realtors. So what does NAR do? It's really a big lobbying group that
Yeah.
goes to Washington to lobby on behalf of agents and homeownership. So that really is their purpose, and we as agents pay dues to NAR
Mhm.
for them to lobby for, and again, because we sell homes, things that are in the best interest of homeowners are in our best interest too. So, lobbyists, a lot of people think that's a bad term. Well, it's part of what we do, right? It's part of how things move, is you get buy-in from Washington on things. During the recession, there were first-time homebuyer programs.
Yeah. Okay.
That NAR was deeply involved with Washington, with lobbying, trying to get programs that could help jumpstart the housing industry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so, and over time, the housing industry is a big part of our nation's economy.
Yeah.
Therefore, having a national group that tries to influence, decision makers in Washington
Mhm.
to help with home ownership is a big deal. So NAR, that's one you'll hear us talk about.
Yeah, very important.
Very important.
Okay.
There's another more local, so IAR,
Okay.
the Indiana Association of Realtors,
Right.
and as members of KBOR, Kosciuszko Board of Realtors, we are members of the Indiana Association of Realtors. So you've got the national, and then you've got state level boards of realtors.
Okay.
So what does IAR do for us? It provides all of the forms that we use. They've got attorneys on staff. They have lobbyists on staff to lobby at the state level for local issues that relate to home ownership. But the forms, the attorneys review the forms every year to make sure that we're fair to both parties. And they update and adjust those forms every single year. So as an agent, as a member of the Board of Realtors here,
Okay.
I have access to those forms as we go. So we pay for membership, and IAR lobbies at the state level, but the service we're provided is those forms, access to an attorney if we have questions related to a transaction, all of those things. So IAR, NAR, and KBOR.
Yeah.
You just put all those acronyms after, right? All of those things.
Okay.
So one of the things from a buyer standpoint, you might talk to a mortgage lender and they'll say FRM. Now, fixed rate mortgage.
Yeah. See, I wouldn't have
Fixed
gotten
rate
that one.
mortgage. No,
Yeah.
I don't talk that way, but it doesn't mean that lenders don't talk that way.
Sure. Right.
Right? So another term that's related to lending, ARM.
That one I've heard of.
Adjustable rate mortgage. So an adjustable rate is just that. The rates can adjust. Fixed rate, rates do not adjust.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So a fixed rate mortgage, whatever your rate is when you sign at closing, that is your rate for the entire term
Okay.
of the loan. So a fixed rate mortgage, same rate throughout the term. An adjustable rate mortgage will have changes in that. It may change annually. It could change every other year. I think, and we have talked about, I had originally signed when I moved here. I did I think it was a 723 or a 525. It was fixed rate for 5 years, and then it went to an adjustable rate for 25 years.
Wow.
So you locked into a lower fixed rate up front. Well, and it all comes down to pay me now or pay me later.
Yeah.
That's really what it is. I was reaping the benefits of a lower rate for the short term with the risk of going at a higher rate a little bit down the road as the rate adjusted over time. So adjustable rate mortgages with mortgage rates at historic lows and have been for a long time. We do not see many adjustable rate mortgages going through from a closing standpoint.
Right, but when I first bought my first house, I was at like an 8 1/4, something like that, and so I got an adjustable rate because the lender knew, okay, rates are high at the time, whatever, and that they'd probably be coming down. So we did an adjustable rate and so forth, and knew that I'd probably refinance like somewhere down the road.
And that's the whole deal is down the road, when rates drop, you probably will refinance. If you see and you think they're going to continue to go up, well, then you refinance into a fixed rate.
Yeah.
So you don't follow on all the way up as that adjustable rate mortgage continues to rise.
All right.
So
very good. Okay. More of these acronyms coming up here after the break. You're listening to Real Estate in Real Time. Welcome back. You're listening to Real Estate in Real Time. I'm your host, Woody Zimmerman, here with Mark Skabowski of RE/MAX Lakes. And we're going over some real estate acronyms that every home buyer should know about, but not everybody does.
Right. So, financing types. FHA, Federal Housing Administration. That is a government-backed loan.
Okay.
FHA loan. USDA, U.S. Department of Agriculture. That's a federally backed loan. VA. So I just hit 3 acronyms.
Yes.
Wow, in 30 seconds.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
We're kicking it.
Yeah, we are.
FHA, USDA, and VA, Veterans Administration, all have different requirements for financing, but bottom line, when I'm talking to sellers about selling their home, I say the A-type loans, USDA, FHA, and VA, all have different appraisal requirements.
Okay.
So 3 different loan types. PITI, again, these are terms that when you're talking to a mortgage broker, they may say that. PITI, that's principal, interest, taxes, and insurance.
Wow.
So why is that important? Well, principal and interest, a lot of times people think about their monthly payment only in principal and interest.
Correct.
The lenders, how much are your taxes going to be? How much are your insurance? Those all go into the calculation on how much you can afford to buy. So PITI, okay?
Okay.
Along with that is PMI, private mortgage insurance. Well, why do I need mortgage insurance on my mortgage? Well, traditionally, and it's the way it's been, I don't know the hows and whys, but if you don't have 20% equity in a house to begin with, you are paying some form of PMI, private mortgage insurance. What does that do? That protects the bank. That protects the bank. It's insurance for the bank, for the lender, that you're going to pay your mortgage off. That's what mortgage insurance does.
Yeah.
Now, what a lot of people don't understand is there's all different rates for mortgage insurance. Every lender works with different providers of mortgage insurance. So your PMI at one lender may not be the same as the PMI at another.
Okay.
Okay, so PMI, another acronym.
I just remembered I was happy when mine came off.
Yeah, when the PMI disappears,
Yes,
hallelujah.
that's a good thing.
Yeah, and from my perspective, it's money that's going to nothing. But the fact is, if you want the mortgage, if you don't have 20% equity to put down into a house, if you're going to buy a house, PMI is probably going to be in your future.
I was young, I needed it.
That's right.
So I had to do it.
That's right. REO, we don't hear much about those anymore. Real estate owned. So foreclosure properties. So if you hear agents talking about, well, he's an REO agent or she's an REO agent, that means that their primary focus is on listing and selling foreclosure properties.
Okay.
REO properties are foreclosure properties. CMA, we've talked a lot from a seller standpoint, that's an important piece. Market analysis. So 2 different terms, everybody calls it differently. Certified market analysis. I tend to call it a comparative market analysis.
Yes,
because
that's what I've heard. Yes.
Because we are comparing to other properties, so that's the term I use. And again, these acronyms, people use different things. So having a good understanding is important, that you understand what's a CMA. If I go out to a seller and say, hey, I'm going to do a CMA on your house, they're like, what are you
Okay.
talking about?
Yeah.
Well, we're going to price it. Well, what does that mean? I'm going to compare it to other properties so that we are in the ballpark when it comes to putting it on the market.
Okay.
One of the terms that you and I talk about all the time, the MLS.
MLS. Yeah, very important.
MLS, multiple listing service. So, little history. Back in the day, every county had their own MLS.
Okay.
Every county had their own multiple listing service. Which really makes sense, and I wish it were still that way, but it's not. The market has changed dramatically. So I'm an agent in Kosciuszko County. I'm a member of KBOR, Kosciuszko Board of Realtors. When I used to input your listing, it only showed to lister, or it showed in the Kosciuszko County MLS. It didn't feed anywhere else other than Realtor.com.
Okay.
And maybe Zillow at the time. So when I input it into the MLS, it went there, went to a few other websites. There was not a, if I were an agent sitting in Fort Wayne and I were not a member of KBOR, I couldn't access the multiple listing service data for that property.
Okay.
So back in the day, we were by counties.
Yeah.
Back, I don't know, it's probably been 10 years ago. I was on the board at the time. We voted to do it because it was the trend. We joined the IRMLS, Indiana Regional Multiple Listing Service, and we are now part, out of Kosciuszko County, we are part of 13 different counties as far as information goes. So I can see listings in Allen County, I can see listings in Whitley County, I can see listings in Marshall County, Fulton County. Back before we had this regional MLS, I would have had to be a member of all of those boards in order to get that. So as a service to customers and clients, that regional MLS has really opened things up. It's made information much more accessible to agents, which ultimately allows us to service clients better.
I see.
So,
Interesting.
multiple listing service. So, if I get an agent from Indy who's a member of my board, Middle Indiana Board of Realtors, they don't have access to our information. They are not members. They have their own board. So, my board is still its own thing.
Okay.
But Indiana Regional MLS, we're spread throughout 13 counties in the state. So if you're looking in this general area, I probably have access as a member of KBOR to that information.
Okay, and then the beauty of being a member of that is that if somebody's interested in like this certain area, boom, as soon as it hits, your information or whatever to you, you can forward it to them.
Correct.
As they're in the market.
Correct.
Okay.
It's helpful for both buyers and sellers and agents.
Okay.
So.
All right, very good. Well, we are running out of time here. This is great information. I'm sorry, but we are out of time. So if you can give us your contact information.
Sure. Our website's lakes-realtors.com. Phone number's 574-834-1233.
All right, very good. It feels like we just went through a dictionary of information, but definitely good stuff to know. You've been listening to Real Estate in Real Time. Have yourself a wonderful weekend.